Good morning and welcome to multi-level Sunday morning practice. So we're going to start seated. I don't know if Gigi's going to start seated or not, but we're going to start seated. So you can sit with your legs crossed. You can be up on a folded blanket. That will help take some pressure off your lower back and your hips. You also could sit in a kneeling position or just in any position that's comfortable for you. And then once you are there, go ahead and close your eyes and turn your attention inward. So no matter what is going on outside of your body, keep bringing your attention back inside. And let your legs and your hips feel heavy. And then feel as if your spine is growing long from its base all the way to the crown of your head. Feel your breathing. Now, oftentimes what happens when we sit tall and lengthen the spine is that we kind of dump into the lower back. We overarch the spine and we lose the strength at our middle. So keeping the chest open, the collarbones broad, I'd like you to move your rib cage back so it is right over top of your pelvis, and you'll have to use some abdominal strength to do that, to hold it there. So while maintaining that strength, relax your shoulders and your arms, relax your neck, relax your hips. And turn towards your breathing. And notice the three-dimensionality of your lungs, of your rib cage, your torso, your entire body. And let there be a fullness in your body and in your energy while maintaining strength at the center. Going to keep all of this awareness at the middle, but we'll get a little freer in our limbs. So as you breathe in, stretch your arms up lightly overhead, and as you breathe out, lower them back down. Your eyes could still be closed, or you could open them if you prefer. Breathing in, stretch your arms up. Maybe lift your head towards your hands. Breathing out, lower your arms down. Keeping the steadiness at your center, the fullness at your back body. We're going to continue with this breathing and this arm movement. We're going to add a twist. So inhale your arms up. Exhale and twist to your right. Inhale, return to center, arms up. Exhale, twist to your left. And inhale, continue. Moving at the speed of your breath. Using your core strength, your abdominal strength, to help carry you deeper into the twist each time, instead of feeling like you're pulling so much with your arms. Let's go to each side once more. And then the next time you return to the center, keep your arms shining out bright. Relax the tops of your shoulders. Lift the center of your chest, gently pulling your belly button in. Big breaths. In and out through your nose if you can. And on your next exhale, release your hands down to rest in prayer at the center of your chest. Reconnect your awareness to your back body, your shoulder blades on your back, your rib cage back over your pelvis. And relax and soften your skin a bit. Attend to the feeling and the sound of your breath. And relax your hands down into your lap and open your eyes. Let's come to all fours. If you want to, you could have a blanket underneath your knees. If your knees are sensitive this morning, I'll go ahead and show you. And place your wrists underneath your shoulders, rolling your inner elbows outward. And then once again, reconnect to your core. So pick up the front of your rib cage so the back of your waistline lifts up. And then soften the center of your chest down. So even it's kind of balanced energy of pulling up at your middle and softening down between your shoulder blades. Now keep that awareness. And we're going to walk our hands forward into a puppy dog pose. So hips over knees, they stay right there. Arms reach out, strong and straight. Unshrug your shoulders and soften the center of your chest down. Now your forehead might rest on the ground, but it's not necessary. You can just keep your neck relaxed and your ears in line with your upper arms wherever they are. Take some deep breaths across your upper back. Fingers are energized, fingertips are pressing downward. Shins and feet pressing downward as well. Then pulling in a little bit behind your belly button, walk yourself back up to an all fours position. And then start to arch and round your back slowly. Breathing any way that feels natural to you, preferably in and out through your nose. Inhaling as you look up, maybe exhaling as you look down, but maybe breathing in the reverse manner feels good to you. So either way, it's okay. And then return to a neutral spine. Belly button's picked up, sides of your waist are picked up. Walk your hands forward maybe an inch or two. And then tuck your toes under against the mat. And feel the stretch at your toes. That feels good usually. And then breathe in and look up a little bit, pulling in behind your navel. And then breathe out, lift your hips and your knees. And come into downward facing dog. And when you first come to down dog, bend your knees one at a time. Pressing a heel to the floor one at a time. Big breaths, strong arms, strong legs. And then settle into relative stillness. It's fine if your knees are very bent, but I want your sit bones to lift up and your rib cage to lift up so you get full in your lower back within the natural curve of your lower back. Let's take a big breath in. And breathe out and lower your knees to the ground. We'll untuck the toes and sit back into a child's pose. You can keep your arms reaching out in front of you as you put your forehead on the mat. Or if the ground feels far away for your head, you could make gentle fists and rest one on top of the other and rest your forehead on your hands. Breathing across the fullness of your back, like you're trying to breathe into the backs of the lungs and the bottoms of the lungs. on your next breath in, lift your head and slowly come up onto your knees in a kneeling position. You can have your feet flat to the floor or tuck your toes under, whatever feels better for you. And then we're going to again move into and out of a twist. So as you breathe in, stretch your arms up. As you breathe out, twist to your right and sit back towards your heels, looking over your back shoulder. And breathe in and stretch up. And breathe out, twist to your left, looking over your back shoulder. Again, keeping the tension out of the neck. You're using your arms a little bit to help pull your shoulder blades onto your back. But remember, the majority of the work is coming from your center. You're twisting from the base of the rib cage each time. Inhaling up, exhaling to twist. Let's go to each side once more. And then unwind. Come back to a hands and knees position. Arch and round your back a few times. Just working out any kinks, releasing any tension. And then returning to neutral, melt the center of your chest just a little bit so you feel like your shoulder blades are wrapping toward each other on your back. Belly button lifts, toes tuck under, downward facing dog. It's okay if your knees do not straighten, but straighten them as much as you can while keeping length and space in your lower back. Big breaths. Broad collarbones. Stay here for another breath in and out. And then the next time that you breathe in, please come forward to a plank position. And you can keep your knees up if you're strong, or put your knees on the ground if you need a little bit of help here. Belly button lifts, look forward, melt the center of your chest just a little bit so you feel the bottom tips of your shoulder blades connect onto your back. And then bend your elbows to lower your chest down between your thumbs. Okay. Untuck your toes, keep your shoulders lifted. Press your hips down, your knees down, your feet down, and curl up into a little cobra, feeling really strong at your upper back, long at the sides of your neck, broad across your collarbones. And keep lengthening forward, so it doesn't really matter how high you get. And just expand your breath across the chest. Keep pushing your hips down to lengthen your lower back. And when you're ready, place your forehead back down on the mat. Pull in behind your belly button and into the sides of your waist. Press up to your knees, or maybe to plank. And then move back into downward facing dog. And a big breath across your shoulders. And lift the front of your pelvis. Take another breath in and exhale. Lower your knees to the ground. Pause here for a moment and then step your left foot up to the top of your mat. Put your hands on the front knee and lift your chest up. Good. So same thing applies. Move the rib cage back over the top of the pelvis. Breathe into your back body. And let's just have the hands on the hips here. And it's almost like you want to roll your shoulders up towards your ears and draw them back as you may be deep in the lunge, moving forward a little bit, lifting your chest, lifting your gaze. Your throat is open. Feeling a stretch along the front of this right hip, maybe. And then with your hands on your hips, you might notice if that left hip is a little higher than the right hip. Balance those out. And pressing your left foot down, your right leg down. And then pulling in behind your belly button, move your hands to the floor again. Back toes tucked under. We're going to lift the back knee and then step the back foot forward, coming to a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. So as you step your right foot forward, leave some space between your feet so they're about a hip bones distance apart, so several inches apart. Bend your knees as much as you'd like. And then rest your hands maybe at the small of your back. You could hold hands with yourself there, interlacing your fingers. Knees can be bent. And feel the weight distribution in your feet. If you're rolling outward, pull in a little bit. And vice versa. After you've been here for a couple of breaths, you might be able to pull your knees out a little bit wider apart. Start to straighten your legs. It's okay if you don't. But whether your knees are bent or straight, feel as if you're pulling the tops of your thigh bones apart from each other. Making space, breathing into that space. And then bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can take your fingertips to the floor again. We're going to do the low lunge on the second side. So step your left foot back, left leg way back behind you, and lower your back knee to the ground. Put your hands on your front knee. Move your rib cage back. Plug into the back body. If you liked having your hands on your hips, place them there now. And then use that awareness to balance out your hips. So chances are good that your right hip might be a little higher than your left at this point. Drop it down. Pull your low belly up. Maybe deepen your lunge. Maybe not. And keeping that awareness of the back body. Release your hands down, palms forward. Maybe curl into your upper back a little bit more. Let your sternum rise, your heart center rise and expand. Ears move back. Back of the neck stays long. If you're feeling balanced, you could close your eyes here to get a better sense of your body from the inside out. But if balance is a challenge right now, just keep your eyes open and maybe even your gaze out on the floor in front of you a few feet. Hands touch the mat now. I'm going to lift the back knee and step back to an all fours position. Let's walk the hands over to the right so they might even come off of your mat. And then we're going to sit back toward the heels in sort of a sideways child's pose. So sit back and to the left as you walk your hands and your upper body to the right, stretching along the left side of your waist. Relaxing your head somewhere. And from here, we'll walk our upper body back through the center. Maybe settle back a little deeper into a child's pose. Hips get a little closer to the heels. Arms at rest, head at rest. And on your in-breath, return to your hands and knees And then we'll take that sideways child's pose in the other direction. So walk your hands over to the left. Moving off of your mat. Shift your hips back and down to the right, stretching along the right side of your waist. You can even walk your fingertips away from you. Walk your hands back through center and return to all fours. Tuck your toes under. Inhale and look up. Exhale, pull your belly button in, downward facing dog. Big breath. And from downward dog, we're going to walk the hands back to the feet this time, bending your knees. Come into a standing forward fold. Your hands could stay here on the floor or on your feet or maybe on your legs somewhere. Or you could hold opposite elbows. Let your head hang down in between your upper arms. Maybe turn your head a little bit. Maybe sway a little bit from side to side. And then to come up, center yourself. Inhaling, come up halfway. Stretch your chest forward. Your knees could still be bent or straight. Lift your shoulder blades on your back. Keep breathing. Put your hands on your hips. Breathe in and stand all the way up. Let's take a mountain pose. So go ahead and step to the center of your mat. Maybe your big toes touch, or maybe there's a little bit of space in between them. And put some weight into your heels and shift your hips back a little. So you even put your hands at the front of your hips here. Feel them move back, and this will release your hip flexor muscles. Relax your arms down beside you. And remember, just like when we were sitting, as you lengthen your spine and open your chest, remember to plug into your back body by bringing your rib cage back over the top of your pelvis. Line up the backs of your ears, backs of your shoulders, backs of your hips and your heels. If you're feeling balanced, eyes could be closed to help you to bring your awareness inside. If you'd like to open your eyes, but just rest them somewhere without moving. Feel the strength of your inner thighs lifting up. The muscles above your kneecaps squeezing and lifting up. And then open your eyes and step your feet apart. I'm going to come into triangle pose. So let's keep the right heel kicked out just a little bit, and then turn your left foot, and I'm going to try to make it easier for you, so I hope I don't confuse myself. You're going to turn the right foot out so that your toes are pointing toward the short end of your mat. Adjust your stance, maybe a little wider or a little bit narrower, and then again feel your hands on your hip bones here. And then notice the back hip is probably a little higher than the front hip. So just for a moment, try lifting your front hip up and just see how that feels. Now stretch your arms out like you're lifting them up to rest them on an imaginary shelf. Squeeze the muscles of your upper arms in. Relax your neck. Feel the strength of your legs and your arms, the strength of your middle. And then we're going to start to reach forward with that left hand. Let your hips move back. And then put that left hand somewhere on the leg. It doesn't have to be way down at the foot or the floor, although it can be if you'd like. Just don't push onto that knee joint, so don't do that. Good. And try to make the weight light in that bottom hand. Legs very strong, feet pressing into the floor. You could look down if that feels better for your neck and helps your balance. And then remember, bring the front of your rib cage in. Fill out the back of your lungs a little bit. Look forward, or take your ears back a little bit and look up. Use your leg strength. And then maybe bend your knees a little bit, but keep your legs really strong, belly really strong when you come back up to the center. Relax your arms down. We're going to flip-flop the feet. So turn your left toes in with your left heel kicking out a little bit. Turn your right foot out so that your toes are facing the short end of your mat. Hands to your hips. Balance your hips by lifting that front hip and dropping the back hip maybe. And then this time, let's just shoot the arms straight up beside the ears. Feel all that length and space in the sides of your waist. Keep that space. Bring your rib cage back, belly in, and then lower your arms down so they're resting on an imaginary shelf, relaxing the tops of the shoulders. So the work is not coming from here at the tops of the shoulders. It's coming from here, underneath the armpits. Now start to reach forward with your right hand. Keep pushing downward into your feet, and then place your right hand somewhere along that front leg that is not the knee joint. And then move your rib cage back a little bit. Unshrug your shoulders. Again, the option could be to look down at that front foot or forward, and keep your chest open. You could look up. If you look up, really work on bringing your shoulder blades onto your back. And then strong legs. Rise back up. Turn your front toes in, so both feet are facing the long end of the mat. Relax your arms down. Walk your feet back in underneath your hips, pretty close together. Take a mountain pose. In mountain pose, you're just as aware of your back body as you are of your front. Your arms could remain down beside you. Or maybe you want to bring your hands together in a prayer position, lifting your sternum, lifting the center of your chest, so that your thumbs are just resting there and you can relax your shoulders. Staying aware of your middle, staying aware of the strength at your core. Please open your eyes, and we'll do a little balance pose. We'll do tree pose. So shift your weight into your strong right leg, and then we're going to take the left foot and left leg, whole left leg, and turn it out to the side. So you have some choices. You could keep your left toes touching down on the ground. Left heel against the inside of your right ankle. Okay. That's a great place to start. Your gaze steady out in front of you, several feet, maybe on the floor, maybe out at something else that's not moving. Now, if you're feeling steady here, you could place the sole of your left foot to the inside of the shin. And then I like to at first kind of, again, put my hands on the hips and then feel the balance between your hips. So again, chances are good that the standing leg hip is lifted up. So I want you to push that standing leg into the floor and drop that hip. Aware of your back body. Pull your left knee out as much as you can. You can always step out and step back in again. If you're feeling really steady and balanced, you could reach down and bring that left foot up to the inner thigh, way high up, pushing the foot and the leg together. Hands could stay on your hips. You could bring your arms out for balance, maybe with your palms up. You're letting go of a little bit of a need to control too much. Rib cage back, standing legs strong. Bring your hands back to the center, and then step that foot down. And you could maybe shake it out a little bit. Big breaths, relax. Return to mountain. We'll do tree pose on the other side. And open your eyes if they're closed. Hands to your hips or to the center of your chest. And then shift your weight into your strong left leg this time. Bend your right knee, take it out to the side as much as you can. And again, your toes could be on the floor with the heel at the inside of the ankle. Or you could step the foot up to the inside of the shin. Just don't push on the knee. Now, remember, as things get a little bit more complex, a little bit dicey, keep plugging into your back body. Keep the sides of your waist long and your shoulders relaxed. If you are feeling very steady, you might take your foot, bring it high up to the inner thigh of that standing leg, and press your leg and foot in. Hands might come to your heart. And lengthen the back of your neck. You could raise your arms out to the sides, palms open, heart lifted while keeping your rib cage back. Maybe there's something else you feel like doing with your hands. Maybe you want to hold hands with yourself behind your back if you're feeling steady and confident. If you're not, it's okay. Keep coming back to your breathing. And when you're ready to, step down. Separate your feet out, maybe a little wider than your hips, and then just sort of shake your legs. Shake out any tension from your hips, from your legs. Maybe your wrists. Big, slow, deep breaths as you shake your body. It's really good for you. Step your feet back in underneath your hips, hands to your heart, and let's step to the short end of the mat, the top of your mat again. And we'll come down to the ground. So breathe in, stretch your arms up. Breathe out, forward bend at your hips, maybe bending your knees. And then step back to an all fours position. Take your knees out wide, your feet together, and then arch your back. And before we come into child's pose, we're gonna keep that back bending feeling in our spine. Move your inner thighs back, like you're trying to take your inner thighs to your feet first, before your hips. Deep breaths, and then once you're sitting back as far as you can, let your tailbone drop down and relax your head. Maybe onto your arms, maybe onto those gentle fists you've made with your hands. Maybe onto the mat. And since the rest of the practice is going to be on the mat down on the ground, I'm actually going to move this camera a little bit lower so that you can see better, hopefully. So sitting on your mat with your knees bent, relax your shoulders. Squeeze your legs toward each other. I'm going to come down to the mat very strongly from the core. So you could put your hands on the mat to help you. Otherwise, bring them out, palms open, shoulders open, collarbones broad, and then really strongly. It's like you're holding this ball of energy right here in your lap. Keep that. Look down toward your belly button. Keep breathing. I'm going to slowly lower down from the sacrum to the lower back. Shaking is good. Squeeze your legs together. And lower down. Stretch your arms overhead. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Full body stretch. Hold onto your left wrist with your right hand and pull on it a little bit. And then lean your upper body toward the right side of your mat. Walk your feet over to the right too. And then cross your left ankle over your right ankle. So you get a big stretch along the whole left side of your body. And then come back to the center. And hold on to your right wrist with your left hand, pull it, and move it in like a banana shape toward the left side of your mat. Even off your mat, walk your feet over to the left, cross your right ankle over your left foot. Stretch along the right side of your waist. And come back to the middle. Good. Not sure if you can see much. I'll try to come a little closer. Nope, a little farther away. That works better. Okay. Good. We're getting ready to relax in Shavasana in just a moment. So if you are feeling cold at all, you could grab a blanket to put over yourself. Lie back down. Hug your knees from whatever position you were in before. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Massage across your low back. Massage across the back of your head, so you could even let your head just very freely turn and move with you. And let yourself settle at the middle. Lower your feet to the floor. If you've got a blanket, grab it now. Place it over yourself. I like to make sure my feet get covered, so I'm going to toss it over my feet. And straighten your legs. Shoulder blades tuck underneath your back. Let yourself feel like you are being held up by the ground underneath you, so you don't have to make any effort. And you might notice that after you've been here for a few breaths, you could realize that you were still holding on to some tension somewhere. And just by noticing it, you release it. sit up, but you stay in your relaxation pose. By the way, if lying flat on your back is uncomfortable for your lower back, it's fine to keep your knees bent. And still lying and relaxing in Shavasana. I'd like you to bring your attention to the center of your chest. And maybe imagine that there is a warm, glowing, healing light right there at the center of your chest. And each time that you breathe, you feed that light. But it's not like you have to do anything for it to be there. It's just there. And as you continue to rest your awareness on that light, let it spread up into your collarbones, down your arms into your hands, up into your neck, and your face, your head. And that light spreads of its own accord all the way through to your upper back and the backs of your rib cage and fills your lungs. Spills down in your waist on all sides, your belly on all sides, your lower back. Your hips pours down into your legs, into your feet. Until you are completely saturating with that healing light. From the crown of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. You don't have to do anything to earn that light and that healing. You're just connecting to it. It's always there, you just forget. Welcome to stay in your Shavasana meditation, relaxation as long as you'd like. But if you are ready to come up, just begin by gently deepening your breath. Making some small movements. Staying filled with this light, bend your knees, roll to one side. And use the strength at your middle and the strength of your arms to push yourself up. Take any seat that is comfortable for you. Still glowing with that light, and it's so strong that it's starting to spread out past your skin as you sit up. And you're carrying it out and sending it out into the world. And when you feel ready to, bring your hands together over your heart. I'm going to take 3 humming breaths in and out through your nose. So you'll breathe in through your nose, breathe out with a humming sound until you run out of breath, and then you'll breathe in through your nose again, breathe out with a humming sound until you run out of breath, and then another time. So let's breathe in together. Namaste.